Hello, everyone. This is Henny Espinosa with Just Dish Foundation. Today, we are joined by Tanya Estrada, Executive Director of the Women's Building in San Francisco. Thanks so much for joining us on Just Dish Foundation, Tanya.
Thank you very much, Heini. It's a pleasure to meet you and to be here with you.
The pleasure is ours. So, Tanya, tell us about the glorious history of the Women's Building and how it was founded in 1971 as the first women owned and operated community center in the entire country in the United States. Tell us about that.
So the Women's Building was founded in 1971 as a women-focused space. So the Women's Building is a landmark organization that provides resources for women, for immigrant families, and LGBTQ plus IA communities to recognize their collective power and self-determination through a variety of services and programs and the use of the space. So the building, even though it was founded in 1971, it was not until 1979 that the organization San Francisco Women's Centers bought the building and became the Women's Building. So this was like a very important date. And actually this year we're celebrating being in this space for 45 years.
Wow.
And one of the reasons that our next fundraising event in June 6th is going to be about celebrating the space that we are in today.
Wow. So let's talk about this space. Let's talk about the property itself in the Mission District of San Francisco. Tell us about the property as well as the beautiful mural covering it. What does it represent?
Wow. Well, so it's a monumental project of art that I always say hugs the building. And I'm referring to the Maestropiece mural. That's the name of the mural, and it's one of the largest murals in the U.S. of a continuous theme, and it was created by 7 women muralists, 1 calligraphist, and with the help of 100 women volunteers in 1994. Yeah. So, like this mural gives us a legacy of art that shows the struggles for human rights that were, fought by women throughout our history and the world, right? So it is a tribute to that sometimes often hidden history of women's contribution to our societies around the world.
Wow.
It features the portrait of Guatemalan activist and Nobel Prize winner Rigoberta Menchú, Puerto Rican independence activist Lolita Lebron, the Mexican shaman, poet Maria Sabina, and many others, right? The Maestropiece is really is what you first come to see or walking by the streets in the Mission District. And it also has 600 women names written in calligraphy by Olivia Quevedo as part of the second stage of the project that it was painted. Yeah.
And the names of these women, what do they represent?
Well, it was a campaign as a fundraising event. You will get to donate to the building, and in that same time, like honor a woman of your own. It could be your mother or someone that was an activist in your country or around the world that you wanted to honor, and you were able to write their name in the mural.
Yeah. So this is really a property where women and girls can really look up to, literally and figuratively, and kind of reflect on their own lives and how these women could impact their lives for the better.
Yes.
So that's great.
You couldn't say it better. Yes.
So Tanya, tell us about your group's mission. Your group's mission to guarantee a safe space and reliable social services for women and girls in the city. Now, what kind of programs do you have that would fulfill this mission?
Yeah, so the Women's Building envisions a strong, interconnected community where everyone holds the tools they need to thrive in a just and equitable society. Right? We want to advance the well-being of women of all ages with a special attention of some subpopulations where those women's voices have been more diminished by societal discrimination. So we have a variety of programs and services, and the goal is to provide our communities with those resources to recognize their collective power and self-determine their future through a variety of programs and services, right? So we have from food pantry to job search technology assistance. We do the taxes for free for our community. We do housing applications. We have a family reunification program. And we provide, a space where a lot of community events come to life at the building, where they can also utilize that momentum to organize or continue to build community among each other, right? So we serve our organization also hosts different other in-house organizations in the building. So we are, the impact goes like just beyond our organization. And, but the Women's Building have an impact of 5,000 clients every year with our own programs and services.
Wow.
We have like around 23 staff members, but we do require, or, we do use a lot of the force of our volunteers every year.
So the help is really all around. It's not just providing women and girls immediate help, but long-term sustainable help as well, in wherein they can thrive, they can really reach their full potential. I'm assuming there's also mentorship, right? When it comes to the girls, they see all these strong women around them, and so it gives them a sense of purpose to better themselves. And then you mentioned as well, Tanya, that you guys house organizations that advance the causes of women. Can you tell us a little bit about these organizations?
Yeah, so the Women's Building actually started as an organization to incubate emerging Bay Area projects, right? So our founders envision also multiple women's building around the country, and why not around the world? Over its history, the Women's Building has sponsored lots of projects, and some of these projects are actually organizations that focus on improving the lives of women, girls, and families. Many growing into established nonprofits, such as La Casa de las Madres, the Riley Center, San Francisco's first shelter for battered women, the Women's Foundation of California, Lyric, and many others. So it is in our goals to maintain low rent for in-houses that are, impacting the lives of many women, and that in ways are aligned with our mission. So, the Women's Building, it is very convenient for women to find a wide variety of services and opportunities in one place. And to be that place, a safest place that prioritizes women. And that are surrounded by like-minded organizations where they could also get additional or extensive support.
Tell us a little bit about the population that you guys serve and why it's so important for the Women's Building to be present there.
Well, the focus of our organization are, of course, women, immigrant, and newcomers, and LGBTQ plus IA communities. And with women, I'm referring to gender expansive people, cis women, trans women, non-binary folks, gender non-conforming people, genderqueer people, and any other women identified people. So we want to be that representation of women of all ages, with special attention of the subpopulations that I mentioned before, whose voices sometimes are not as loud as others,
or stifled
by the
or
society.
Stifled too.
So that's pretty much like our population, and the population that we want to continue to focus on: women, immigrant, newcomers, and LGBTQIA plus communities.
Tanya, is there the center also, in terms of advancing the causes of women and those who identify as women, do you guys also coordinate or reach out to local leaders, lawmakers, make sure that the concerns, the pressing problems affecting the population that you serve is addressed?
Yeah. Thank you. The majority of, okay, so talking about the population, we are also, remember, we're concentrating on serving low income families, right? More than half of our, like almost, yeah, more than half of our communities are Spanish speakers coming from Central and South America. 80% of our community are women. And 50% of all of them are also struggling with some sort of violence, right? So in our district, we also see in the Mission District certain like factors that maybe other neighborhoods have, but not as the district, right? And gentrification, the cost of living in the Mission District, the poverty threshold, all of these are risk factors for the communities that we serve. So definitely economic pressures have forced, a lot of our communities to live differently, think differently, because they lack of the funds to pay for what they are needing in their lives, right? So with these barriers, we have an advocacy program in our building that is embedded into all of the programs across what we do. Is our work. We started with that idea, we continue to have that, and in this way every program that has it has that component, right? So when we have a food pantry distribution every Monday morning, we are also embedded into advocating for food for all and going to Sacramento and organizing workshops and meetings where we can continue having those conversations at different levels with the community and with the state, right? And that's the case also for other situations, just like housing. We're part of the Plaza 16 coalition, leading a lot of those conversations and efforts for what is going to be the Marvel in the Mission, the new development that is going to be fully affordable for the community, and the same happens with immigration and with women's rights and reproductive rights, and we're trying to tackle it all because all of it is interconnected.
Yes.
So it's very important for us to have that piece of advocacy that starts with our community and that continues to grow, and and then support larger efforts.
Yeah. Unless those issues are addressed, then it'll be hard for these women and girls to actually reach their full potential because of these challenges in their lives. So with the community support and with your community partners, Tanya, tell us a little bit about what you guys have in store, what you guys have planned for the Women's Building.
Yeah. So we definitely want to continue bringing more culturally sensitive, high quality programs that are given in the language of the communities that we serve. We want to create pathways for our women to continue empowering themselves and growing into whatever area they decide. We want to focus in the next years in a workforce program. We really have been seeing a lot of the need for our women to get more support. They need more support to enter the workforce, and not only to enter, but to really scale up the positions that they initially have. So we want to look into the programs as we always look at, right, like in a holistic way, but in this case, concentrating into a workforce program that connecting with all of our other services could really be a good and potential, definitive program for many women that come through our doors, right? We also want to focus on the sustainability of our space for future generations. And we are having conversations about how can we make sure we are there for future generations that need us in different capacities in our building. Our building infrastructure is the one that holds the majority of the services, all of the services that we have, and in-house organizations with also multiple other services for women, right? So thinking about the sustainability of the building is something that we have very present right now. to improve. We want to become an electrified building. We want to make sure that solar panels are installed in the near future, that we go all electric, that we have
Wow.
some repairs that we need in the building for our communities to continue coming. Every year the building sees around 25,000 people coming into the building. So
Wow.
the use of the building, the space that we hold, we want to continue maintaining it and providing a space where it's not only it continues to serve as it has been right now for the communities.
Wow. Tanya, we're just so honored to get to know you guys and to support you guys in any way we can. And we certainly see the great need of the women's building, not just for the present, but for future generations. Like you said, we need to maintain it, expand it, and we just applaud you guys for all the work that you do for women, for girls, for sectors in our society that may otherwise not have much of a voice, but have a voice now because of you guys. And more power to the women's building in San Francisco, and more power to you, Tanya, and your leadership. Thank you so much for your
Thank
time
you
to
very
talk to
much.
us at Just Wish.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll talk soon, Tanya. Thank you.
Thank you.